I'm State Representative Wallace, so I've co-sponsored many bills that are now law. I represent Illinois 67th District and have done so for the last year and a half. 2015 was an amazing year. We got lots of things done in the legislature that I think have a big impact on my constituents here in Rockford. One of the biggest accomplishments of the last legislative session was comprehensive police reform. We were able to become the first state in the nation to actually overhaul how policing is done and to be compliant with President Obama's 21st Century Policing Task Force recommendations. So what does that mean in general or to laymen? It means that we put forth professional criteria for police officers. They will begin to partake in training that probably wasn't offered before, such as training on implicit racial bias, additional training where sexual assault victims and domestic violence victims are concerned. They will also have the option and the ability now to wear body cams. And there are a set of guidelines for the use of those cameras and the evidence that those cameras will collect. This comprehensive bill also includes measures to provide for an independent investigation if there's an officer-involved death. So no longer will departments investigate themselves. And this, again, makes Illinois the first state in the nation to do that. Another piece to that particular piece of legislation is that when an officer pulls a person over, they now have to issue what's called a receipt. So that receipt would include the name of the officer, badge number, and why they actually stopped you. All of these are measures that are consistent with lots of the recommendations that have been moving forward since we've heard some of the high-profile cases in our nation. So I'm really proud that we were able to get that done. Many pieces of that legislation have been in the works for years and years. And in 2015, we were able to manifest those things. In 2015, we did a number of events in the district as well. Civic Engagement Day, helping to create a Foster Children's Bill of Rights. I helped sponsor trips to STEM Fest at NIU. I also was able to put forth a piece of legislation that impacts our child support legislation. So any of the legislation that I talked about or didn't get a chance to speak about, you can find more information at www.staterepwallace.com. In 2015, I was honored to be named one of the 25 Black Leaders to Watch. That meant a lot to me, given the fact that I've been in Rockford for 10 years. And I felt that nomination and actually winning that award meant that I was welcomed into the Rockfordian family. And I've always strived to make sure that Rockford was best represented in Springfield. My number one constituent is my son, and so he's been here most of his life, and I just want everything that I would want for him, I would want for any other child here, and everything I would want for my parents or for my grandparents. I would want to see that happen for the other residents in Rockford. So that was a wonderful accomplishment. Booker Washington Community Center also honored me with the Legislator of the Year award, and that was surprising because I've been in office for just over a year, but I have been able to make some real strides in that last year. I've been able to rise to be the Vice Chairman of the Human Services Committee for the Illinois House of Representatives, which is huge. That committee has one of the most has probably the largest volume of bills come through the Human Services Committee, and I'm honored to be able to vice chair that. I've also been able to be part of the executive board for the Illinois Legislative Black Caucus. I serve as the Sergeant at Arms or parliamentarian. So I'm the person saying, sit down, be quiet so we can get this meeting going. So those are some of the personal accomplishments that have happened, and they push me to continue to want to do even more. I think theoretically they're under 40, but I'll just leave it at that because there's a lot of stuff. But Happy New Year.